Shalom, family. The soul food topic on tonight is Niggard Please. Okay? Now, notice I did not say nigga, please. I said niggard. Okay? The word niggard is in the Bible. And niggard is defined as one who is stingy, who is not generous, who is not willing to give up their assets or their money to help someone else. They're stingy. They like to hold on to money. So again, the topic of this Bible study is Niggard Please. Okay, so we're going to get into the precepts and talk about it, because someone who is stingy, who's a niggard, okay, not being considerate and thoughtful of the needs of others, only concerned about themselves, selfish minded, that's not the spirit of Mashiach. That's not the spirit of the Father. And if we have that within ourselves, not willing to give alms, not willing to be hospitable and be one given unto charity, we not gonna make it. We not gonna make it. It is imperative. It is of the utmost importance that we rid ourselves of that niggard spirit, okay, and be thoughtful, generous, kind. Okay, walk in the fruits of the Spirit, that not only are our righteous living, okay, be on the scale, on that just scale, but that we also, the alms and all these other things that we do unto others in righteousness and sincerity, be added along with that. Our righteous acts on that scale, so that on the day of judgment it may be well with us. Okay, so I'm going to delve into the precepts. Gail, I have you grab Sirach chapter 14 verses 3. I'm actually going to have you read verses 3, 7, 10, and 9.
Sirach chapter 14,
Mm-hmm.
verse 3. Riches are not comely for a niggard, and what should an envious man do with money?
Read it one more time. So remember, niggard means stingy. A person who does not want to give up the dollars to help nobody or to aid anyone. They're only concerned about making the paper for them and themselves. Go ahead.
Riches are not comely for a niggard.
Riches are not comely for a stingy person. So the writer is saying it don't look right. It's not a good look when a stingy person get a whole lot of money. Why? Because that stingy spirit they got is magnified now. So they barely wanted to help you out when they only had a couple dollars in their pocket. Now they banking? You can forget it. Keep going.
And what should an envious man do with money?
Read verse 7.
And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. And at the last he will declare his wickedness.
So, scripture saying there, with a niggard or with an envious person, when they get some money, they do it not with a willing spirit. So if you ask them, you keep asking. All right, here you go. And give you just enough for you to get by. It's saying that later on, you'll be able to see that at the last you'll know their wickedness. Okay? So when you give them, Salakia, you ask to borrow money or you expect just to be given something, the nigger, the envious person, they'll give you the money, okay? But soon you will come to a place where you will regret even asking them for that money, because they're going to show their wickedness. They're going to act a fool. They can have a whole lot of money in the bank account, but they'll come and rough you up. Where my $20 at? Where my $50 at? It's been 2 weeks. Well, brother, I just got paid. I'm trying to make, get my finances worked out. I don't want to hear that, man. Pay me back. Bro, you got all this money. Why are you concerned about $50? That's not the point. It's my money. I want my money. That's a nigger. That's the envious man. Okay? Read verses 10 and 11.
Verse 10. A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. verse 11.
Well, hold on with verse 10, because it says, read it one more time.
A wicked man envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table.
So, the wicked man envieth his bread. Now, bread is talking about bread that you eat, but even if you would think about bread as slang for money, he envieth his bread, envieth someone else's riches, what they got, their assets. He wants it. But when the tables are turned and he has to give to someone else, he's a niggard, meaning he's stingy. Hey, yo, bro, be all right if I get that? I don't know, bro. I was trying to make plans. Yo, I'm really in need. Would it be all right? Come holler at me tomorrow. I see if I change my mind. Okay, read verse 11.
My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself, and give Yahweh his due offering.
So, if you get blessed, bless yourself, but don't forget the Most High. And as we'll get into the precepts, don't forget your brother who's in need. Not to say to give to everyone to where you don't have enough for yourself. That's ignorant. Be a blessing unto yourself, but do not forget the Most High first and foremost. And do not forget your brethren who is in need. Okay? Same book, different chapter. Chapter 31. Read verses 23 and 24. Sirach chapter 31, verses 23 and 24.
23 and 24?
Whoso
is liberal of his meat, men shall speak well of him, and the report of his good housekeeping will be believed.
So a man who's liberal with his meat, meaning a man who's generous, a man who gives willingly, when one asks because they're in need, bro, would it be all right if I get that? Yeah, man, no problem. Go ahead. Have that. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Now, if the person that is receiving the blessing isn't truly wicked in their heart and they're just righteous person, that person that lended them or gave them, was charitable unto them in their time of need, that person will be, lifted up and feel more inclined to bless them when they have it. Okay? But if the person is in need and asks the nigger, would it be all right if I get this or get that? The nigger say, no, I don't, I need this for me. Then that person's going to get upset, and they're going to be unwilling to want to help you if things ever change. They're going to speak evil of you. Okay? Was that
24?
Yeah, 24.
But against him that is a niggard of his meat, the whole city shall murmur, and the testimonies of his niggardness shall not be doubted of.
The testimonies of his niggardness, of his stinginess, the whole city will be aware of him. Yeah, don't deal with him, man. He's so stingy. He's so selfish. All he do is think about himself. That's a bad report. That's a bad reputation to have. Sometimes, in some cases, the niggardness is more lasting than the man of liberality. That stays with you. When someone is stingy and selfish, that stays with you sometimes more than someone who's giving, liberal, and generous. Unfortunately. Sometimes people's kind nature can be overlooked. But when someone is stingy, that definitely stays with you. Especially because when you're in need, you're looking for someone to show you kindness. And they like kick rocks, get lost. But bruh, I need your help. What that got to do with me? I got to count my money. I can't be wasting time with you. Get on out of here. That's the niggard mentality. And if he does that, it's just person after person that will have a testimony of this man, and he will have a poor reputation. Ain't nobody going to want to deal with him. Unless they are niggard just like him. Niggards respect niggards. Okay? I heard it once before that when you're dealing with the very wealthy, they tend to be niggardly. Okay? They don't spurge their money a lot. They usually are penny pinchers. And you think to yourself, man, you got all this money and this is the way you act? You looking at the receipt over and over. No, you charge me 35 cents extra. No, I need to. You got millions in the bank and you concerned about that? But then you have to realize it was that mentality that got them the wealth that they have.
I did that and I'm not rich.
Niggardly.
I mean,
but,
I look at being
I know.
charged.
But that niggard wealthy man will have no problem with another niggard wealthy person because they know what it takes. But someone who ain't got no money, or someone who's just not niggardly like that, let it just roll right off their shoulder. You know what I'm saying? It's no big deal. But the niggard, he's not willing to give. If he gives unwillingly. Like he'll give to charitable donations to be seen of men. Look, I'm writing a big check for $100,000 and I'm sending it in to this charity just so you can write it off and get that $100,000 back in your paycheck. Or back in your bank account, rather. You do it unwillingly. I'm not about to just give money to just somebody. I'll give money if I know it's going to pay dividends later. I'll pay money if it'll end up, working out as some sort of bribe or some sort of transaction to benefit me later on. Or if I can write it off and a tax write-off and get that money back. A nigga just don't give up money, give up riches, give up his meat. Just because he's kind and thoughtful. That's why he's the niggard. He's stingy. He's stingy. Okay? Go to Proverbs chapter 11, verse 25 and 26. I'll read that.
Chapter 11?
Yep. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 25 and 26. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. So the liberal soul, the generous soul, the person who is generous and gives willingly. He sees the need and he supplies the need. Sometimes without even asking. Bro, you need a little help? You need me to help you out? Yo, man, I'm so glad you can't. Yes, I do need some help. I appreciate it. The liberal soul. Hey, yo, bro, man, just had it. Yo, thank you. I appreciate that. Don't even worry about it. Yo, I'll pay you back. No, you ain't got to pay me back. Don't even worry about it. The liberal soul shall be made fat, meaning the one who's willing to give, the Most High will look after him, and he shall be made fat. He shall be prosperous. He shall be blessed. Okay? And he that watereth shall be watered also himself. So he that provides water or substance or a gift to one man shall be gift or blessed in return. 26. He that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. Okay. So we can't have that niggard mindset, that stingy mindset. You have to be willing to give. Because remember, as I was reading here in the precepts, there is a blessing if you do so. But if you don't, all you is going to be cursed by the people. How do you expect to have people look out for you when you fall in dire straits if you become a man of poor reputation because of your wickedness and your niggardness? Every man curses you. Man, I can't stand that dude, man. Ain't nobody gonna look out for you when you in dire straits, when you in need. They gonna pass you over because you did the same to them. But when you're liberal, when you're giving, when you're thoughtful and considerate and generous and give it unto charity, men will look out for you. But above that, the Most High will see to it that your needs be met because you were in righteousness, met the needs of others. Okay? Go to Sirach chapter 12, verse 3. Sirach chapter 12, verse 3. Okay. Sirach chapter 12, verse 3. And it reads, there can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. There's no good to come to someone who's stingy and don't give alms. You see a poor beggar, you know, and you just passing by, knowing that you have loose change or a couple, you know, singles on you. You got some extra food or whatever the case may be. You see someone else who's in dire straits, who is in need, and you're not concerned with their welfare. There is no good that comes to you. You will be judged for that. You will be tested in those type of situations. And if you fail those tests, you will be judged of the Most High. Ain't no good gonna come to you. You're not looking out for nobody else. You gonna perish. Okay? Move on from there. Let me grab Tobit, chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. Tobit, chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. Give alms of thy substance, and when thou givest alms, let not thine eye be envious, neither turn thy face from any poor, and the face of Yahweh shall not be turned away from thee. So when you give, don't be a niggard, and don't be envious, meaning you give and then you regret giving. Man, I should have held on. I shouldn't have gave him a 20. I should have gave him a 5. If you gave it, give it freely. Give it with a glad heart. The Most High will bless you. You may think about it and say, maybe I shouldn't have gave that much. But it's already out of your hands. Don't regret it. Don't, speak evil of the deed that you did. Just trust the Most High. If you felt led to give that, it's usually because the Spirit is leading you to do it. Okay? If you gave a larger amount than maybe you normally would, probably the Spirit led you to do that. Don't begrudge, the deed that you gave, or the money that you gave, rather. Verse 8, if thou hast abundance, and give alms accordingly. Let me read it again. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. If thou have but a little, be not afraid to give according to that little. So even if you don't have a ton of money, you're not rich, don't feel in your mind, oh man, my bank account low, I can't give you nothing. If you have a little to give, then just give the little. Or give a portion of your little. Because in that, the Most High is watching you, man. And you're going to get repaid for your kindness. But if you say to yourself that, I have a little bit, so ain't even no point to give him. He ain't going to be pleased with that. And I need it, probably more than him. The Most High is not going to repay you. Righteousness for righteousness. But it's your stingy nigger attitude that's keeping them couple of dollars in your pocket. A lot of times we're just so hard-hearted. You see a beggar out there, man, he can go get a job. He don't need these $2. You really don't need them $2. What you gonna do? Go get you a bag of chips and an Arizona tea? A lot of times you don't. What you gonna do with $2? In this day and age, what are you getting with $2? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Man, I don't get paid to the end of the week. I need to hold on to these $2. A lot of times you're not really doing nothing. What are you going to end up spending on something frivolous? When you can give even of your little, and the Most High will bless you much. Verse 9. For thou layest up a good treasure for thyself against the day of necessity. So in the time when you're in need, the Most High will grant you and recompense unto you according to your own deeds. if you were a giving man and a kind man and generous and, giving unto alms, in the day of necessity and in the day of need, you shall have a treasure. If you're doing all this stuff, it's like, making a deposit into the heavenly bank account, man. Every good deed you do is like putting a deposit in there. Then one day when you ain't got nothing, you go and check your heavenly bank account and you find, man, I got racks up in there. I didn't know all that was in there. And then you can make a withdrawal when you really need it. But if you never putting in that righteous deposit into that heavenly bank account, there's going to come a day when you're going to need something. You're going to go check it out and see what's in your bank account. Ain't going to be nothing in there. It's going to be overdraft fees. You ain't going to have nothing in the day of necessity. Okay? Verse 10, because that alms do deliver from death and suffer not to come into darkness. Verse 11, for alms is a good gift unto all that give it in the sight of the Most High. It's a good gift. And the Most High is taking knowledge. He sees it. Don't think that these deeds go unseen. The Most High and the angels make record of it. You may say to yourself, wasn't nobody around. Man, I kind of needed that money. But it is what it is. The Most High sees. You may not see the fruits of that alm for years. But the Most High sees, he takes knowledge, and there's a good gift for those who give with a willing spirit, with a sincere heart, with liberality, not the niggard mindset. You literally giving, but your spirit is wicked. If you're that way, the Most High don't want you to do it. You might as well keep them $5. If you're gonna give it grudgingly, then you can keep the $5. But if you're going to give it with a sincere, righteous spirit, don't look for anything in return. Just know that you are putting deposits into the bank account, the heavenly bank account, and the Most High taketh knowledge. And in the day of necessity, in the day of need, you'll be able to withdraw from that account if you be spiritual. All right. Verse 11. I'm going to grab same book, different chapter 12, verses 8 and 9. Tobit, chapter 12, verses 8 and 9. Prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. So prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. A little with righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness. It is better to give alms than to lay up gold. So the writer is saying, you can stack up gold to the ceiling. Giving alms is of greater value than that gold. Because that gold can fail. But when you give alms, it's going in the heavenly bank account. And the Most High always got his currency. The Most High's currency is always on point. His money is good anywhere. You feel what I'm saying? If you be spiritual, that gold can fail. The value of that gold can diminish. But the value of the Heavenly Father's currency, his blessing, his gift on his elect, on the servants, on the righteous, that value does not diminish over time. It only grows greater. And the Most High, think about it. You can have tons of gold. If there's a great famine, what is gold going to profit you? You can't eat it. But if you give alms, you may not have no money, but in the day of necessity, in the day of that great famine, the Most High can provide food like he did for Elijah. The Most High's currency is, transferable. It's invaluable. The Most High's currency. Gold, man, is only good to exchange for goods. But you can't eat it. You can't live in it or on it. They don't keep you warm at night. They can't talk to you and befriend you. But when you give alms, you shall have your needs met in due season. Okay? It's greater than that of gold. Verse 9. For alms doth deliver from death, and shall purge away all sin. Those that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life. Okay. Last scripture. Sirach chapter 29, verses 12 and 13. Sirach chapter 29, verses 12 and 13. Shut up alms in thy storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction. So the same analogy I'm giving of the heavenly bank account, that's what the writer is talking about here. Okay, when you give alms, it's like making a deposit into the First National Bank of Heaven. Okay, the First National Bank of Heaven, you're making a deposit. Okay, and your deposit may not be huge if you be spiritual. On what I'm saying, you may not have given a huge alm, but it's something. Okay? And every time you do righteous, charitable deeds, you're adding deposits into that bank account. It says it also delivers from death. It shall deliver thee from all affliction. Verse 13. It shall fight for thee against thine enemies better than a mighty shield and strong spear. So the alms are better than gold, and the alms are better than a defense. Better than a carnal defense, that is. It will fight against thine enemies for you. Why? Because when you give us alms, it will cause there to be men who are willing to defend and support you, sometimes without you even knowing. You can have enemies and wicked individuals who seek to do you harm. Okay? Think about, for a moment, Mordecai and the king, and how Mordecai, hearing the secret conspiracy to assassinate the king, he brought it to the attention of the king and was able to have those men thwarted and destroyed before they could, follow through with their plan of assassination. So whatever good the king did, it was repaid back to him in that season through the mouth of Mordecai aiding him. And in that, he blessed Mordecai with great riches and influence. So in the same way, if you do well unto others and give alms and do all that, you can be in a situation where you're not even privy to someone seeking to do you harm. But those that you've blessed in the past could be looking out for you and thwart a potential bullet or missile that's that was sent out to do you harm, a wicked arrow, if you be spiritual. That person just minding their business, and they hear this other person talking about how yeah, man, I want to do this to this nigga. I don't like him. I don't like him. Like, what? Bro, that's my man's. I don't like the way you coming out. And they wouldn't have felt that way if it wasn't for all the wonderful things you've done for them to make them feel like, yo, I got to look out for him. I ain't got no money to give him, but old boy trying to come at his head? Nah, I ain't going to let that happen. Nah, he blessed me, man. He entreated me, man. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to let this happen to him. So giving of alms is greater than gold, and giving of alms is greater than carnal weapons to defend yourself from your enemies. So again, the topic is niggard please. We cannot have a niggard mindset, a stingy mindset. We have to be given unto alms. They are defense unto us. Okay? Giving alms with a charitable, righteous, sincere, liberal attitude. Okay? That the Most High may see us and bless us accordingly. Okay?